We are back on a day when, in terms of we're getting smarter, we're trying to. Velshi and Rule is back. We got more breaking news. President Trump's personal charity, his family foundation, it is shutting down amid allegations he used it illegally for his own personal and political gain. As part of an agreement with the New York State Attorney General, the Trump Foundation will dissolve and its remaining assets will be distributed to an agreed-upon list of nonprofit organizations. The Attorney General said, quote, "Our petition detailed a shocking pattern of illegality involving the Trump Foundation, including unlawful coordination with the Trump presidential campaign, repeated and willful self-dealing." I'm just going to say that one more time. The Trump Foundation. So when you hear foundation, you think an organization there to give to charitable organizations. They're being accused of repeated self-dealing and a whole lot more. This amounted to the Trump Foundation functioning as little more than a checkbook to serve Mr. Trump's businesses and his political interests. This one blows me away.
Yeah, the foundation's attorney, Alan Futerfas, responded moments ago, quote, "Contrary to the New York Attorney General's misleading statement issued earlier today, the foundation has been seeking to dissolve and distribute its remaining assets to worthwhile charitable causes since Donald J. Trump's victory. Unfortunately, the New York Attorney General sought to prevent dissolution for almost 2 years, thereby depriving those most in need of nearly $1.7 million.
Okay, then let's take both statements at face value and ask the experts. Back with us, Daniel Goldman, former Assistant U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York. And joining us is NBC News investigations reporter Tom Winter. Daniel, why don't you start? Parse those two responses for us.
They're both partially accurate. It is true that the Trump Foundation had been trying to dissolve, and the New York Attorney General's office did not let them do that pending the investigation. But and we don't know the details. I don't think that the Trump Foundation was trying to dissolve out of the goodness of its heart. I think it recognized it was under investigation and there were bad things coming its way, so that it was trying to dissolve. Now it will dissolve with the oversight of the Attorney General's office. And this is one of really 3 things the Attorney General's office is trying to get out of this lawsuit. The other is restitution for the improper payments made and the self-dealing that you referenced, Steph, made by the Trump Foundation. And the other is to ban Trump and his adult children from serving on any other nonprofit board of directors.
Can you imagine that?
So the incoming Attorney General has said that she's going to continue to investigate this.
And she's doubling down.
There was that massive report by the New York Times that detailed a lot of things. Does dissolving stop any of that? Or in other words, there are a lot of people who think there's a lot that has to be continue to be investigated.
Right. It's the right question to ask today. And the New York Attorney General's office is very clear in that, in saying that their lawsuit and their ongoing investigation of this will continue. So today's dissolution doesn't change that. What essentially means is that after today, they have a 30-day period once the judge signs this dissolution, which they have to come up with an agreed upon list to distribute that $1.7 million to non-for-profit organizations. The AG's office can veto any one of those distributions if they don't think it's up to their standards of a charitable organization, right, or where it should go. But then that'll go away and the Trump Foundation will cease to exist. But any sort of continued investigation, I mean, they've raised this idea, this allegation that there could be actual criminal, either on the state level or federal level, criminal investigations or violations here. So that will all continue forward.
So if the foundation gets dissolved, how does that impact the fact that the New York AG is suing the Trump Foundation?
Well, they are seeking those other remedies as well, that other relief. So
what does that mean?
Meaning that they're trying to get the directors essentially to pay $2.8 million.
And who are the directors?
Donald Trump, Don Jr., Ivanka, Eric, and Alan Weisselberg, the treasurer of the Trump organization, who said to the New York AG's office he didn't even know he was on the board of this Trump Foundation. The allegations,
had a lot of very serious meetings.
The allegations in this lawsuit are salacious. They're really egregious. It's essentially using what is a relatively small foundation for someone of so much money. Most of the money, by the way, was donated by the McMahon family of WWE.
Linda McMahon. Let's remind our audience. Linda McMahon is currently serving in the president's cabinet.
So, but putting aside that aspect of it, they made political payments, or they made, I guess, quote-unquote donations that were designed to help his political campaign. They bought art, they bought other sort of personal effects with what should be money for charity, and most egregiously, and this is really where the criminal investigation I think that Tom is talking about, the foundation made a $25,000 donation to the Florida Attorney
AG.
General's
Pam Bondi.
Pam Bondi's campaign, I believe it was. Several days after that, the AG's office dropped their investigation of Trump University. So now we have Trump University that's crumbled under fraud. We have Trump Foundation that has crumbled under fraud. And the question that we all need to ask ourselves is, why should we believe that the Trump organization is operating any differently than these other Trump entities that have now dissolved based on fraud?
And I believe that the Trump Foundation did not file that they made that $25,000 donation as well, that was not included in
It's
their
even
IRS
worse.
filings.
It's even worse. They claim to give it to an unrelated charity of a similar but different name in Kansas.
No.
Yes.
So here's the question. Is there any
Hold on
reason
a
why
second.
the money...
There's many
Wait,
questions.
wait. So I was going to give it to Ali Velshi, but instead I gave it to Smally Melshi. Like, are you kidding me?
Essentially, that's what the allegations are.
But I know...
Smally Melshi's doing well.
But let me ask Smally Velshi. So... if they're not fighting back on these salacious allegations, is the Trump Foundation simply saying, okay, you got us? Like, if someone was accusing me of all this, wouldn't I fight back?
I think at the time, and I think in the ongoing legal proceedings that they have fought back. I mean, I don't think this is a situation where they're just wholesale kind of saying, yeah, we give up and we'll disperse everything. The foundation says that they've wanted to do this for 2 years. I think, to Daniel's point, it's the smart one, which is that, you can't dissolve something in the middle of an investigation. I think they're at a
But they're
point
not
here where
disputing
they
the
can start to
wrongdoing,
do-
are they?
They are still, they're not
Yeah.
admitting to wrongdoing.
They're not
here.
admitting to it.
They're stipulating to the dissolution
So
of
here's
the
my question.
foundation.
I don't know if we know this, the $1.7 million, where it's from, but is there some danger that they distribute this $1.7 million and then some settlement requires payment? In other words, because you're saying they've got 90 days to...
So anything else that you were referring to before, what the AG's office is trying to get, they would be getting that from the individuals, from the directors,
Got it.
Yeah, I mean,
people on the board of
the money
directors.
in the
So they would be
foundation-
getting it from
Got
say,
it.
Donald Trump's children or from the president
From their
himself.
own
The
personal bank
responsibility
account.
Yeah, from their
falls to
own
the
personal
directors,
bank account.
right.
They're not going to go back out and say, oh,
Donor money.
Toys for Tots, we need that money back
Right,
because
got it.
we got to figure out a settlement.
And if the money is sitting in the
I use that
foundation
as
and
an example.
theoretically it's coming from the McMahons, it shouldn't go to the U.S. government, right?
Well, the money should go to another.
Well, it would be the state.
It should go to a
nonprofits.
charity.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, it should go to a
It
charity.
would be the state AG in this case. How they would then dole that out.
The New York AG's office has referred some of this conduct for criminal investigation already. And there are some real tax fraud implications here with doing what they did.
Guys, thanks very much. That's been half an hour of really complicated
You know,
stuff.
I planned to give him
Talk
an
about let's get smarter.
unbelievable Christmas present.
I've been
But at the
waiting.
last
I've been
minute,
waiting.
I decided to send it to Smally Melshi, who lives on the Upper East Side.
Some bespectacled bald dude on the Upper East Side is enjoying Christmas gifts.
He's wearing an ostrich coat right now.
Hey, MSNBC fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down there and click on any of the videos here to watch the latest interviews and highlights. You can get more MSNBC for free every day with our newsletters. Just visit msnbc.com/newsletters to sign up now.